Then, to check how sick I was, tell you how sick I was.
JD. Mercenary, soldier of fortune. He's more than a man. He's a walking death machine.
Thunder.
Black belt, primed for action with one blow. The death blow. Only 2 words describe the power and fury of this unstoppable team.
Stack of Dimes.
Join them as they band together with the incredible power of
Stack of Dimes.
Untamed and Unleashed to Kill.
This is Stack of Dimes.
Stack of Dimes. We are the podcast that you listen to and you call in sick and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna use my, it's like comfort food. I'm just gonna listen to 8 hours straight of Stack of Dimes. It feels so good at the end of it. Wow. Just gonna lay in bed in my underpants, cold sweat, listen to this Stack of Dimes. I'll feel great after this. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You'll feel worse.
Horrendous, dude.
You'll feel worse.
No doubt. That just sounds awful.
No, I couldn't. I was thinking about. I was like tell you how sick I was. I was thinking about.
I have to put that audio drop like at the beginning. I think I just used it not too long ago, but
of course you did.
I've got
not too long ago, like on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like on the show, like that is perfectly fits this episode. But anyways,
we were talking about being sick, but the thing with the opening, the thing that triggers for me, it would be like, I'm at home, I can't sleep, but I can't really focus. Like, so you just end up watching put on that, you watch 8 hours of some movie or something. Like, I'm just going to stream this thing. I don't even like it. It's just plain.
Yes.
And I just but I don't have any energy to think anymore or do anything else. And that would be our podcast would be great for that.
That's true.
Although you need to watch something with it. I feel like we need to put this out on YouTube.
Oh God.
Like a series out on YouTube.
Oh God.
YubTub.
I was going to say that's usually what I do is the YouTubes is, because I just had the COVID, I don't know, month and a half ago or something, and that was the thing. I would go to YouTube and I would put on, what was it like? The top 50 TurboGrafx 16 games ranked, and I go, "Yup," and I just let that thing roll, and you just be in a fever dream, in and out,
even in just a trance.
Yeah, and then you'd wake up, and then now the algorithm is taking you to other related videos, and now it's just some guy who's playing E's Adventure Book 1 and 2, 4 hours run through or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Where
oh my God.
Where am I at?
That is a fever dream. That's an acid trip. Yeah. I remember, God damn it. So this is all triggered off both my, it feels like there's something running around Seattle in general.
Oh, for sure.
I have a couple of coworkers that have it right now. My kids have this it's mostly just a fever and lethargic, can't sleep. None of the vomit, none of the vomitus,
headache, probably,
none of the diarrheas,
headache.
none of the squirts, but just headache and fever.
Yeah.
But so that was the inspiration, if you will, the divine inspiration for this episode. But it just even that opening triggered a memory for me that I remember it was 8th grade. What would that be? Circa 1992, 93.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was spring break. And I was going with my parents. My brother moved out at that point. I was going with my parents to Whistler, and we were going skiing for the week, 5 days in Whistler going skiing. And we get up there the first night, have a great Italian meal, just a real fine, nice Italian. Oof. And then I wake up the next morning, and it's just it's coming out of every orifice for me. It's just I'm like a soda dispenser or something. Just it's coming out everywhere. And I had chicken pox. Because we didn't have
Jesus Christ.
We didn't really. Now I think there's a vaccine. I don't even know anymore. But I think there is a it was chicken pox. And then
you had chicken pox when you were in 8th grade? And,
8th grade.
And got food poisoning and chicken pox, or it was the chicken pox?
No, it was all chicken pox.
It was just that the Italian meal is memorable.
The Italian meal was just what I had to deal with.
Okay, got it.
12 hours later after I had it. It's oh yeah, I remember eating that. But we're up at Whistler skiing, and it's I'm just basically at some point after the initial sort of wave hits you of just literally, I think I shit the bed. at that age. I literally like it was
Don't
just
doubt
like
it.
I was like, let's see if this fart will come out. Nope,
No.
that's just liquid. And so that happened. But once you get over that, it's just
Water.
like I just feel terrible. Yeah, it was just straight water. I'm turned into a water bed. It was a fold out couch. It was a fold out water bed. But at some point, it's like you just feel gross, and I've like got chicken pox on my face, right? It's just sort of
Yes.
like, and but I'm just lethargic and no energy and gross. And my parent, like, we were up there for like 5 days, so they're like, and this is like the early 90s. There's no like, if you went into a hotel in
for
the early
Christ's
90s,
sakes.
you went into a hotel in the early 90s, you just got the local stations.
Yeah.
That's
If
what you got. There was
if
no
you were-
HBO. There was none of that. Like, you got
I was
the
going to
local
say, yeah.
stations.
If you were
Especially
lucky. But you're in Canada, too.
in Canada.
Yeah.
You don't get the local, whatever you get in Canada is like, what are these bullshit PAL,
Yes.
recorded in PAL stations? I haven't seen any of this garbage before, much music. I don't even think that the TV where we had much music. So what you could do at Whistler's, my parents, there was like a video store.
For you,
They went to
for
the video
those of you who
store.
don't know what Much Music is, it was like MTV.
It was like MTV in
Yeah,
Canada.
go ahead.
They go to the video store. They rent a VCR.
No, oh, wow.
They rent a VCR, like in a big case. Like they
Yeah.
could bring that thing back. They rent a VCR, and then they rent like all these like long classic movies. Like they rented like Patton.
Oh, my God.
Bridge over the River Kwai. I think I watched Lawrence of Arabia. Like
Holy
they rented
shit.
this stuff that was like, my dad was like, these are great movies. It was the first time I saw The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
No
That's
shit.
also a very long movie. I watched The Killing Fields, also a very long movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. There's a couple other like they basically went into the video store and rented any of the ones that were like 2 tapes. Remember that?
Yeah,
You
oh, yeah,
go in,
sure.
you're like, oh fuck, that's a 2-taper.
Yeah.
That's a long one. They rented all those, and I just like I didn't. At that point, I was like, I haven't like I was thrilled to have like a goddamn something other than the local TV, and
What
I
a
just
fucking.
like.
Did you
watched
even
these
have
things?
Did you even have a Game Gear at that point?
No, there was no portable. There might have been a Game Boy out at that point, but I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like hunkered down, laid in the fold-out couch bed, and watched these things on probably like a 20-inch screen. The majesty of Lawrence of Arabia on a 20-inch
Right.
tube CRT,
Pan
like,
and
yeah.
scan 4x3
Yeah.
CRT. Yes.
But I
Yes.
still remember like those that thing, like, and then my parents went skiing. We maybe not been there for 5 days, maybe like 3 or 4 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But long enough, like they would ski during the day and they come back and like they would get food and like. But I was just kind of like, and it wasn't. I didn't feel like. It's not, when I say it now, it's like, God, my parents were they just like abandoned me. They abandoned your child.
Yeah.
I abandoned my boy. I abandoned my child. So There Will Be Blood reference. But the at the time I was like, cool. Like I'm just gonna sit, like I was like totally fine with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I would be the same way. I never
Yeah.
got, and I had some friends that would have been like, kind of whining, and then their mom would stay, and then her trip would be ruined. Right? It'd be like, okay, honey, I'm gonna stay with you, but like
and they would ski to like 2 or 3.
yeah,
It
of
wasn't
course,
like they were,
of
like,
course.
'cause
It's not like you were,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah,
You-
from
they were
like
going
9
getting-
to 3, they'd be gone, and then they'd come back and they'd like watch a
bring-
movie with them. And
No.
they'd bring food
They'd
or
come
whatever.
back. They'd bring you like whatever takeout food they could find, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna go out and get wasted at the clubs at Whistler. Bye, John."
Yeah, exactly. We're going to Savage Beagle. I think that was the name of one.
No, but that's what. But even I had friends who had parents that would have been like, your dad's gonna go skiing, and I'll stay here with you.
There was
okay?"
literally nothing for them to do.
yeah,
Because it was
and-
like all I wanted to do was lay there and drift in and out of sleep and watch TV. So it was like,
Yeah, and
they're like-
at that age
yeah.
too, you're like, what were you, like 13 or 14?
Yeah,
It's like the
exactly.
age where it's just like, I'm fine. Just
yeah.
it's gonna
And
be boring, but what else am I gonna do? I'm fucking assed out
Yeah.
here.
But I do remember a lot of those movies definitely like stick with me from that period. Like
That's
definitely,
interesting.
There's definitely something in that period where like I don't think I really understood films until later. Like honestly, until like I feel like we got into it in high school. We started understanding like sort of like how those things were put together. But there was definitely in that moment I was like, oh, I like these. These are enjoyable. But there's probably definitely part of my love of movies today still stems from that. But yeah. That's what just my. So when you listen to Stack of Dimes for 3 days straight while your parents are skiing, you're gonna be like, I really understand the craft of podcasting now. I really understand something about how they meticulously stitch these podcasts
Christ.
together. Yeah.
Christ. I vividly have, when I had my hernia operation, I was 12, and
Living with the hernia.
and I had a bad reaction to whatever the anesthetics were or whatever it is. But like when I woke up, I was just nonstop puking. I will remember this.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I will remember this the rest of my life. And the nurses are telling you need to stop throwing up because you're going to break your stitches. And like, bitch, I ain't doing this on purpose. Like there's the last thing I want to do is retch anymore. Like to the point where nothing's coming up. It's all bile.
Oh, God,
if you're
it's the
lucky.
worst.
And they won't let you leave the hospital until you stop.
Yeah.
So, you know, I swear, I would have to ask my mom, but I swear we were there for hours just trying to get me to stop reacting
that sounds
to
like torture.
Oh, it was awful.
And
But
you're just like your stomach muscles, every muscle in
Everything.
your body is just like clenched and tight.
your eyeballs feel like they're gonna burst out of your skull every time. But my grandma, my dad's mom, came up, and she my dad's mom was not like the loving. She was the fun grandma. So when she came up, it was like, really, Grandma Birchel's gonna watch me? Like, she's fun and all, but like, can she take care of a child? Is what I remember thinking.
Even at age 12, you're like,
we're like,
whoa,
oh, shit,
guys. Like,
I guess my dad's still here, so I mean, she did some right. So she came up, and my parents rented me. Of course, I love that your parents like went out and did that, and they're like, yeah, let's grab a bunch of long movies. I rented up to that point all of I think it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and then Alan Quatermain and King Solomon's Mines, and Alan Quatermain and the Lost Cities of Gold. So it was Indiana Jones and then rip off Indiana Jones. And then me and my grandma sat and watched them like back to back. I remember at some point vividly, my grandma was like, I can't do this anymore. You enjoy these. And then like would leave and go off and do whatever, have a cigarette outside or whatever. And then come back and like kind of dip in and dip out. But she even knew, she was like, you know, that other one was fun with the guy with the whip, but this one's dumb. And I was like, yep, Grandma, this is Canon's version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And yes, it sucks. But
That's
I have
amazing.
and I got my mom got me a handheld pocket game, you know, one of those shitty LCD ones.
Oh yeah.
This is WrestleMania. I forget which one it was supposed to be, and the game was like LCD, and it was you were Hulk Hogan wrestling Andre the Giant.
They'll never be able to recreate how like the delight in getting one of those games, because now they're just like $1 in some bin somewhere, and it just doesn't like. But when you got with like some of those things were like, it was like $20.
Yes,
and like I remember I had a football one, and it was I enjoyed that thing so fucking much.
I enjoyed the shit out of this. I remember like laying in bed, either playing that or watching Indiana Jones or King or Alan Quatermain.
Well, credit to my old man for being like pulling some classics, I guess. But I think he just wanted like, I don't know if he was probably just picking, like I wasn't there to like bitch and moan about, I don't want to watch that. He's like, well, here's what you got to watch. So yeah, just burn through.
I mean, left to my old man, if he was left to his, choosings of movies, God knows what he would have got me. I mean, my old man it would have been some Charlie Bronson movie.
I was going to say Death Wish or something.
It would
very much,
no, it would
Dale's Alley.
It wouldn't be Death Wish, but it would be some other lower rent like Bronson movie.
The Great Escape or something.
No, because
Bronson, not even that good.
It would be like some straight to video canon fucking bullshit Charlie Bronson movie, or you'd just be like, yeah, this one's
Wish
got
4.
Yeah, it's got Charles Bronson in it.
Invasion USA. Was that Chuck Norris?
That was Chuck Norris, but
didn't Bronson have one that was like that too?
I'm sure he did.
Was like, I feel like he had one that was like had the White House in the background or something. It was like
yeah. What was that?
Oh.
Anyhow, my old man would like, but I would think that your dad was probably that way too, though. Like it wasn't like first of all, they're like, let's go grab a VCR and a grip of movies for this kid, and let's do it as fast as we can. And these are what I know, and they're long, and he's just gonna
they're in stock because anything that was popular was probably rented. And they're like, well, you can get the Good, Bad, the Ugly. Like, yeah, I remember that movie. It was like, I vividly remember that watching that one.
Yeah.
That one and Patton stand out the most in that maybe Bridge Over the. That might be the only time I've ever seen the Bridge Over the River Kwai. But
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
I know. I know I've seen bits and pieces, but never sat credits. Yeah, man.
What was your go-to, like, with my 11-year-old sick this week, like, she was like, I don't, I'm trying to keep them hydrated, but like, there's no, like, I don't want anything to drink. I'm like, do you want some Gatorade? Do you want like a Pedialyte? Do you want like, no, I don't want that. And that was like, we had this like leftover from like some pizza delivery. I'm like, oh, we have Sprite. And it triggered for me. It was like, my mom, like when I was growing up, if I had an upset stomach, it was like 7-Up and saltines.
Yeah.
You have 7-Up and saltines. And I was like, oh, have some Sprite. And she's like, yeah, I'll have Sprite. And she had Sprite. And it was like, this is so crazy. I've totally turned into my parents where I'm giving my kids Sprite when they're sick. But it was like, it kind of worked. She drank it. And it like, because I was like, they're so like feverish and not drinking. It's like, oh, you just need to drink something and hydrate. The best thing you can do for your body is just to stay hydrated, right? Yeah. But yeah, Sprite it was. But what was funny. Like? What was your go-to when you were younger? Like, what was
when you were first bringing it up, I was trying to think like, did we do Gatorade or anything like that? But the second you said 7-Up or Sprite, I was like, fuck yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was always the go-to.
Yeah.
Well, with my mom, same deal. And when you're a kid, you're just kind of like, your mom will run some things out to you, or like, how about this? How about that? And you're like, no. But whatever it was, when Sprite came around, you're like, fuck yeah, I'll do a Sprite. Hell yeah.
And for us, it was probably 7-Up. We were 7-Up.
It's probably 7-Up for sure. Yeah.
Didn't believe in Sprite yet.
Yeah, first of all, like 7-Up, I don't even think there was. You had your Slice, you had some other dog shits, and I don't think Sprite at that point was even.
Yeah, it might not even existed.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you think about it today. Like, there's probably other kids like this. Like that I could even drink 7-Up or Sprite and not instantly want to vomit. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? There's the number of times I've thrown up 7-Up.
Oh yeah,
is gotta be in the hundreds. Because a lot of times like you wouldn't be able to keep something down. Like have some 7-Up, you drink it and just like barf it directly back up. But I do remember throwing up 7-Up and being like, that tasted the same way up as it did down.
That's why I was going to say that's probably why whenever I remember throwing it up, it basically just tastes like Sprite.
Yeah. But how is that not triggered today? Like, there's so many things I could have today, like a whiskey.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, it gets me in a weird spot. Like people have that with tequila.
Yeah.
Like whiskey or like there's certain food items I know I've thrown up. I'm like, I don't know if I can do like a red delicious apple I threw up once. Not a fun thing to throw up. And
I've shared it.
The texture of them now, it's like, I can't do it.
I shared it on this store or on this show, I think, in the past, where I threw up like ranch flavored. Pringles. Yeah. And ranch and whatever the fake potato Pringle flavor or any ranch for many years was like a no-go, dude.
Yeah.
Like it was and that was
I had a really bad hangover one. Like we went to, it was like, I don't know, probably when you and I were living together, and I went to Vegas with a bunch of guys I worked with and found a vending machine on the way back to the hotel room. And it was right when these came out, the cheddar and sour cream Ruffles.
And I guarantee it was not when they just came out.
Well, I don't know. To me, I just
because they've been out for a while.
I know, but I was like, oh fuck, man, those things are so good. And I was like, oh, number 75, I'm gonna get some of those. Like, boop, boop, boop. I was like, oh fuck, man, they're not coming out. I was like so angry. It's like, no, 75 is the how much they cost.
75 cents, yeah.
Yeah, that's not the number to press. They're like E2. And you're like, oh, fuck yeah, E2. So I get E2. And then I probably ate a bunch and then promptly passed out without brushing my teeth. But the hangover, I didn't throw them up. I wasn't sick. It was just the hangover mouth aftertaste the next day. I still can't eat them. They're like, I'll have one now and then just to like test the waters.
Yeah,
like, nope, can't do it. Because my mouth was so disgusting the next day. But apparently I can drink all the 7-Up I want.
That's too bad because that's a pretty good go-to.
I know, it's a good chip. I understand why you flew too close to the sun.
You did, yes. I get why you were so excited in your drunk state when you were trying to get them wrangled out of the machine. I was like, good choice, man. Good choice.
You run across a vending machine on the way back to your room and it's got those in it, and you're like, fuck me, I want those.
Yeah. Shit.
Those dry hotel rooms. You're hungover. That's the last thing. There's like half a chewed chip in your mouth, just like soaking up all the moisture in your body. Like, yeah, not a good combo.
I was listening to one of the other podcasts I listened to, and he brought up the fact as an adult how great it is when you call in sick, and everyone, of course, but like there is nothing like when you're and you're truly sick. Like I don't want to play up the fact that it's great when you're sick, but there are aspects of it. Like again, I just had COVID for the first time, by the way. Like
right,
as far as I know, and I tested many times before and never tested positive, but I knew and it wasn't that bad. Like, I'm not saying it's not bad for people. I'm just saying this just so happened to be not too bad. It was like one day where it really, really hit me, but it still was like, it wasn't that bad. But, now I wasn't happy, but there is a second where when you're legitimately sick, when you get that work stuff put to bed, when you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about anything for the next day or two. And that sleep is something else, man. That is,
I could see that.
It's like where, because oftentimes I got to get up earlier than normal and, text or call or email or whatever. And then it's kind of a little worried. I'm like, I kind of want to hear back and make sure everything's okay. And then finally when it's like, okay, everything's good. All right. And then it's like, now it's approaching the time you'd normally get up and you're like, fuck, I just get to go back to sleep and just not worry about a single goddamn thing.
I did have a moment on Monday, like when my kid was homesick from school and I was looking at my Outlook calendar for the day and it's like, maybe I'll get a fever. That wouldn't be so bad. It's like, I can call in sick, but yeah. But the thing is, my problem, like everything's so goddamn remote now. You get sick, there's still like, I feel like I would still have the obligation to like, I should probably dial into that thing and listen and just like, yes, you wouldn't do like fucking Americans, man. Like we're so broken when it comes to that shit. Like we just can't. Like I know there's that meme about I'll misquote it, but it's like in Europe, it's like I'm apologies, I'm off on my summer holiday. I'll return in 3 months, and then in America, it's like, hey, I'm having a kidney replaced today, but if you need to get a hold of me, just text me. I'll respond as soon as like you can't. I won't be on email, but you can text me as soon, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
And they fucking will too. They'll text you too. Like it's not. You say that as in like, okay, this will keep them away. It will not.
No,
it will not.
No, but like we feel so like obligated. I don't know. I had surgery on my wrist last summer. I think I took like a day off or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I barely even that. I was still checking in.
How's that wrist going? What's going on there?
It's fine. Now and then I'll get like a little pop or something out of it, but yeah, it's fine. I can do push-ups and all that stuff still.
Yeah, I the other thing about getting sick too is for the longest time, well, there's always stuff like, okay, when COVID was really, really going around and everyone and it was like terrifying, right?
Yeah.
You'd hear everybody like tell you their experience or whatever, right? And I feel like throughout, as you get older and live on this planet long enough, you'll find the person who got food poisoning, or you'll find the person who got mono or whatever. And it's like there's these kind of constants throughout your life where it's like, oh shit, I've never had that. So, but then when you finally get it, for the longest time, I never got food poisoning. Like I feel
like I've had like low grade food poisoning since I was probably like 16, just in terms of like a constant daily battle. But like, can I let that one go? Oh, that was okay. That one's fine.
Yeah, and I could relate to that as well. And where I'm like, someone would tell me, oh man, dude, it was coming out both ends. It was awful. And in
what did they call that for like long-term COVID? They just have like, is that what they called it? Like long COVID or whatever? Long food poisoning.
Yeah, long food poisoning.
What does that mean? I just got the shits.
Haven't had a solid shit in 4 years or 5 years.
Exactly.
No, but like I would hear it often like, oh man, it's awful. I was sitting on the toilet and then I was throwing up in the bathtub. I was like, and it's just terrible. I'm thinking, come on. That's absurd. Come on.
I've had that once, and it's actually in the last couple of years, but go ahead.
And then I finally had it where it was like that, and I was like, and you're in the middle of it, you're like, they weren't fucking lying. They weren't fucking lying, man. Like, Oh Christ, man! Yeah,
that is true. It was like norovirus or something. Of course, my kids got it first, and then I was just like, yeah, it was a solid like 24 hours of just like, and we've had this. I'm gonna jinx this because we're going in the holidays. The last two Christmases, like 2 years ago, like my wife's cousins brought like norovirus to like a family gathering, and then like I don't think Amanda got it, but everybody else got it in her family. And then last year, I don't know, my 11-year-old picked up something very similar because she woke up like Christmas night at like 10 p.m. just like vomiting nonstop the entire night. Like every 30 minutes, she was just like throwing up, right? And then the next day, I didn't get that. I know we talk about poop a lot on this show, but like over the course of like the next 3 days, I was like literally on the toilet so much. I just want it to end. Like I just want to kill I just want to die. It's like, here I go again. Here it happens again. It's like I couldn't, like we were like over visiting my parents. It's like I literally can't leave this house because in the next 20 minutes I'm gonna have to go do that thing again. Yeah, it was brutal.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no grosser feeling, I don't think, than that. When it just keeps coming, and you find yourself like going through like rolls of toilet paper because it's just ugh, and it's.
Or you're like, I'm just gonna sit here and stay here.
Yes, yeah.
There's no point in leaving because all I do is like hang out in another room for 10 minutes
and then
like,
go. Oh,
here
crap.
we go again. I gotta try that
yeah.
again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oof.
Trying to think of other like big. You said the anesthesia. I remember I had like teeth extracted when I was like in 4th grade, and they put me under for it. Like it was oral surgery, and I think when I woke up, like I was like, groggy enough that my mom just like threw me in the car and took me home. But I remember like for the next couple days.
And nowadays she would have gotten her phone out and recorded every second of you and put it up online.
Oh,
it
yeah,
would have been really
great.
funny for everyone to.
Yeah. No, but I remember for the next couple of days, like I was probably like the anesthesia, like I couldn't keep anything down. Just being at home, just being brutal. And I had teeth extracted, so I couldn't really eat anything either. So I was like, try to drink something or have like some Jello or something and have it instantly come back up. But there's something like, it's always worried me since, like anytime I've had anesthesia since, like, oh God, is that going to happen again? But I think it's just a case of like being young and now I've, been blackout drunk so many times. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm used to that. My body can take that. Wait, what do you got? Oh, it's fine.
You're like Michael Jackson with propanol or whatever that shit is. You're just like, yeah, no. This ain't no thing. With it.
But I think like you're so young, like you were 12, I was probably around the same age. Your body's literally never experienced anything like that before.
Yeah,
like,
and
we're
I would
going to give you a thing to knock you out. You're like, fuck, dude, what is it? Friday? Let's do it.
Yeah, right. But I also think that's probably the medicine or whatever it is. They've probably perfected pretty well at this point too. But that stuff. I mean, to this day, is seared in my. I'm like for the longest time too. There was a taste that I associated with it, and I don't know if it was because I do remember when they put the. I guess I knock on this plastic counter in here or whatever the fuck this is, but I've not had many surgeries. In fact, where I've been put out or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're giving me oxygen, but whatever it is they give you when they tell you to count backwards, 3, 2, 1.
Right.
I assume it's more than oxygen because that's when you go out, right?
Yeah.
But at 12 years old at that Everett Children's Hospital, wherever the fuck I was, when they put that shit over my mouth, the taste of it when I was breathing in was like horrendous. And when I woke up, that taste was in my mouth.
Ugh.
And there was so many times like the years after where it was like there were certain medical products that I would smell and it would instantly like pop me right back to that.
Because scent is such a strong like memory indicator too.
It's awful.
Right? Yeah.
Hey,
I got knocked out from my wrist, but I don't think they did a gas. I think she just injected me with something.
Yeah,
that part was actually. I think I've only been knocked out twice. Once from the teeth extraction when I was like 12, and then recently from my wrist. And I will say, kind of delightful. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like I do remember them asking me to count backwards when I was younger, but this time she was like, "So how'd you break your wrist?" I was on a one wheel. Like, what's that? well, it's like this thing. It's got these motors in it. Blah,
Yeah,
and just like out. You don't remember any of it, but it was like that was such a delightful conversation with that lady. What a nice lady.
I had the last time I was put out was, and I also wonder how much, like how long I was out or how much I was out, but or what are the degrees of it? Even if it feels like you're out, were you really out? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a colonoscopy.
Oh yeah, I got it. I got to schedule one of those in the next month or so here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I same sort of deal. She was asking and you're so gullible at that point. You're just going like, well, yeah, I'm glad you asked about that. But so here's what and then it's just like, next thing you know, you're coming to or whatever.
You're straight like mansplaining. Well, actually,
yeah.
Well, actually, when you do a podcast, blah, blah, blah.
Some people will tell you that De Palma's best movie is. I'm gonna have to disagree. It's out. You're done.
I'm a big Body Double fan.
But they did say to me, they're like, we're gonna give you 2 medications you may have heard about, and I think it was one is fentanyl, and I was like, oh yeah, Fenny, you're giving me some Fenny? Yeah, I know all about that. And then the other one is called Propofol or whatever, and I was like, yeah, that's the thing that did Michael in. And I'm saying these things like to these, and at this point they had already given me a little something. They give you a little drip,
right?
of
Something to take the edge off,
and they were actually like laughing, but I was like, I know all about this shit, not because I use it. It's just it's like, fuck.
That's amazing.
But let's go with this too as an aspect. What do you remember your mom giving you besides Sprite, but things like that you would get, like even if you scraped your knee and shit like that? I swear there was these common things, and I don't know if it's the same anymore. You can tell me otherwise, but I remember I could tell you the taste of a chewable cherry like aspirin right now, and I can. When I would get headaches, I'd get some form of children's chewable shit, and I know that taste. Sore throat, Sucrets. I remember using a Sucrets, that sort of thing. And actually also having like a fondness for this shit, like like my mom being like, remember this isn't candy, like this isn't candy, even though they've done so much to make it seem like candy because they need to shove it down your mouth and you don't want to take it, but Luden's cough drops and fucking.
Oh yeah, definitely Luden's cough drops. Those were good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck, man, I forgot about those. They still make those?
I have no idea.
I could chain a box of those for sure. I'd have to give you the shits, I bet.
But any of that sort of stuff, like, do you?
God damn, dude, the Luden's thing. I hadn't thought about those in ages. That's crazy. I like the cherry.
Of course, everyone liked the cherry. They taste like cherry lifesavers.
Yeah, they were so good.
Yeah, my grandpa.
I'm sure that one stands out like a Pepto.
See, I never fucked.
My love of Pepto.
My parents never gave me Pepto. And I don't remember really. I know you had more headaches growing up. Yeah,
I didn't really ever have headaches growing up, and I don't remember my parents ever I don't remember taking a lot of pain medication. Definitely a lot of sore throats, right?
Yeah.
They're like, do you ever have like a throat spray? That stuff was bad, man. It kind of numb the back of your throat. It would numb you. Stuff. It was like, ugh.
Yeah,
it was not good.
Well, Sucrets was the same way. It was like a lozenge that would numb your. You just feel like so like slick and just nothing.
I think when I was really young, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, I feel like if I got a scrape or something, it'd be like iodine. Because that was like, isn't that was? I think I'm saying the right thing.
I think you're right. Yeah,
and it was iodine to like in. I always thought I've been watching infomercials. I would be dealing with a lot more iodine stains as I grew up.
Shit, yeah.
It's like where's all these iodine stains I'm gonna have to deal with? Oh, they never materialize. But I feel prepared for them.
It was always those.
I got a lot of OxyClean
commercials would be like red wine and iodine.
Iodine. like who's fucking using iodine anymore? What are we in goddamn like some sort of World War I medic or something?
Right. Yeah. No, my mom. I always remember getting the Bactine spray. I could get a scrape and it's like, it's gonna sting. What the fuck was Bactine? What I
don't know.
This
just is just kills all the bacteria or something.
Yeah,
it was like a Neosporin, but a spray.
Yeah, it's sprayable alcohol or something like that. It was, or now it's something that's totally like, oh yeah, no, that was completely worthless. You know what I mean? That's the other
That's
shit you
liquid
find.
cancer that you sprayed on that.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of like in terms of just stuff that when I was sick or ill, it was like Campbell's chicken noodle soup,
Ooh.
saltines,
Yeah.
and 7-Up. Those were like that was the staple. That's literally
God, I
all
might have
would
that as a meal come this week. That sounds so good.
My kids are still into Campbell's chicken. Now they do all these like crazy shapes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And now and then I'll steal a swig just to kind of like, how is
Yeah.
it? It's like, fuck, it's salty and good.
You know, the one I always liked was the Lipton's. That
Oh,
was,
really?
It was in a dry pouch, and the noodles were like little tiny, almost like
I didn't like.
oh,
Yeah, I never
so
got
fucking good.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't that as much.
the Campbell's chicken noodle. You got some suspect hunks of chicken in there sometimes.
Oh yeah, and there's always that kind of you definitely. Even when I opened one up the other day, I was like, oh, there's that weird oil.
Yeah,
kind
separated
of
on
like
the
that,
top.
like not oil, but like a lard thing
Yeah.
that gets like sort of like congeals on
Yes.
top. You're
Yes,
like, oh
ma'am.
hey buddy, there you are. I'll
There you
mix
are.
you in for flavor.
Take a big whiff, and you're like, "Yep, I'm back." The noodles.
My
were
kids
always,
will do it like I'm curious how you would do it growing up because we would do it growing up like can of soup, can of water.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
the
dilute
condensed
it that way.
soup.
That's
yeah.
the condensed what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. My kid now is like, there's water in this. She wants like the straight.
Oh, she
give
wants
me the straight shit. I don't need this diluted bullshit. I want the straight condensed version. Like, dude, that is
wow.
crazy salty.
Yeah.
Don't need that much.
No,
You know what though? It's pretty good.
I bet, man.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
The noodles are in that too are really like thick. They have to because they're just sitting in there, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like,
she gets all these shapes.
Oh, that's
which I
right.
feel like
Yeah.
hold their like.
yeah.
I don't know. They have some technology or something now. They
Sure.
like they hold their like rigidity a
Sure.
little bit better than the noodles. They're like a little like more al dente, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. That's fucking chicken noodle soup, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Me and Anita, we're definitely part of the Lipton's from the pouch family, and we always have some of that on hand. And like when the second like Anita gets sick, she's like, if we don't have any, it's like I know I have to go to the store and get.
Get the Lipton's.
Yep,
I like,
the Lipton's.
if there's a box of saltines that are open, I'll give them some of those. Even like when I'm not sick, they're
Hell
pretty
yeah.
good.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you. There's just like
Just a plain white
Yep.
saltine. Yep.
yeah, and people will be like, oh no, what about what are the ones that used to come with cheese and crackers, like club crackers or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, those are good,
Those
but
are
those
good.
aren't for being sick.
No, they're too
Yeah.
buttery. They're too
Yeah,
buttery.
they're very buttery.
Yeah,
Very
and so you're like,
yeah,
no.
but there's something like just pure. It's like it's so simple. The saltine.
Yeah. Well, shit, brother.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure we
I
could
think
keep
we ran
going
it all
for.
down. I know. I
3 more
know we'll
hours.
probably finish this, and I'll think of like 10 other times when I was sick when I was younger, and like something will come up.
Did you ever get car sick at all? That was always a weird one for me too.
Only I remember one time distinctly. I got a new Garfield book. Probably Garfield number 3 or number 4. Those weird like rectangular
Yes,
long
it's too
ones.
long. They kind of pissed me off when I was a kid.
They were like oddly in the weird shape of
You
them.
had to have, if you wanted to put them on a bookshelf, like standing up on a bookshelf.
Yeah, they stuck out
sucked.
weird. What
They
was
sucked.
Like, there's got to be a Wikipedia entry about why they were shaped like
Yeah.
that. I remember reading it. Got in the back of like my
Oh no.
parents. It was like a 2-door car because they weren't 4-door cars or SUVs or whatever.
No.
Like a 2-door Mazda or something. And reading it in the back seat coming home from the Everett Mall, and it's like, oh, my stomach hurts, and like, you can't read while I'm driving. It's like, what are you talking about? But that's the only time I don't get car sick or motion sick
Yeah.
unless I'm staring at a screen or something like that. What it does make me do is get fucking really drowsy. Like I can just fall asleep almost instantly.
Right.
Like on turbulence on airplanes or like being on a boat where it's rough water or something, I just get really drowsy.
Oh yeah, being on a boat was always like never made me sick, but yeah, made me drowsy. Always. Like just the bobbing up and down.
Yeah.
Like, it's very soothing.
That's like the second turbulence hits on a flight, like if there's heavy turbulence, like I just end up like closing my eyes and I'll be out like almost instantly.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I just there was nothing worse than a kid getting sick in a car. It's like the
Ooh.
grossest
Yeah,
thing.
we never my brother was he didn't get motion sick either. I didn't experience it. Knock on, my kids are generally okay. But you usually have to remind them, like, look out the window. Don't stare at your goddamn iPad.
The Playland at McDonald's used to have I don't know if many people remember this, but there was a merry-go-round sitch, and I don't know because a lot of the shit on the playground there represented like, look, it's a giant cheeseburger you climb up in the head of Mayor McCheese or whatever, or like, oh, it's a filet-o-fish thing over here or whatever.
The hamburger's a little like cage.
Yeah, it was. You're right. The hamburger. And then Grimace had some. Yeah, whatever. This one was, and I don't remember it being on the playground very long, but it was like a merry-go-round thing, but almost like the teacups, where it had like a steering wheel in the middle, and you would sit around it, and you could crank it and just make this whole like little thing spin. And it was very much it's like a fiberglass. Kind of like a teacup or whatever, but not. But like, and it was
McDonald's Gravitron.
He was basically.
Was there a dude in the middle just like listening to Van Halen?
Yeah, exactly.
Like floating around. Like, hey, maybe you should stay at the controls, dude.
Total sex pest. Yeah, running the scene. Yeah, no. But it wasn't very big. Like you'd get like 2 or 3 of you in there, and one person would crank the steering wheel to get this thing spinning, and I just got that thing moving, and Kurt just puked up every bit of his chicken McNugget Happy Meal. I remember that. And then feeling bad, but it was like, he wanted to go fast. I was like telling my mom, he wanted this. If his stomach can't take it, that's his fault, But then
to victim blame blame him. Yeah.
It wasn't like he was saying stop. But then at that young age, I realized, this is why these are like fiberglass and smooth, because the person came out and just wiped all the shit. It was like, it didn't even happen. That I have a distinct memory of that. But old Curdy didn't. I don't remember any of us really getting car sick all that much. But I just had friends that would do it, or kids I went to school with. It's a pretty regular
as a parent. It's a pretty regular like conversation about like times your kids have been car sick. But like again, luckily it's happened. I can think of one time that was pretty gnarly. I'd like literally as we were arriving somewhere, one of my kids like barfed in the back, and I just promptly turned the car around and like drove the 45 minutes home. It was just like, well, we're gone.
Yeah. Well, now, too, kids are probably they come out of the womb being able to stare at screens, doing anything, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whereas back then, it was like, I'm reading a comic book, and I'm like, I don't feel right.
Garfield.
God, those books, man. Wait, I wonder how many they got up to on those piece of shit things.
I don't know. I feel like I had probably somewhere in the range of 8 to 12 of those things.
I remember
I'm sure it's kind of incredible that character has sustained as long as it has.
Right, yeah.
Because it was such a gimmick, like in the 80s for a hot minute. And they're not that particularly good.
No.
Yeah.
Good on that dude. He was like, I'm going to make the
Jim
shape
Davis?
I'm going to make the shape of the book like memorable. And I'm just going to like rely on like some very memorable quirks. And then I'm just going to hammer away.
Not to go on a tangent, but I can't remember where it was. It was like Slate or the New Yorker or something. There was some article about him. This is like 10 years ago probably, about how he like managed the character and the brand so it wouldn't burn out and he could sustain it over a long period of time.
Interesting.
I remember reading it a long time ago. I'd have to go back and find it, but it was something about that. Like he was like they were pushing to do a movie at one point and he held off, and that's why the movie came out later. It was like it was very deliberate. It wasn't by accident.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good on him.
Yep.
As a reminder, all my characters are still available to anyone out there who would like to license them. Green Grappler, Hair Trigger, they're all still available.
I had a character. I will say it was maybe mildly inspired by a Jim Davis's Garfield. His name was Birdie. He was a bird. Lived with a single guy. I think the single guy's name was John, kind of like in the book Garfield, but my name was John, so it worked. And Birdie, that guy was a cut up. I'm telling you, he was getting into all sorts of hijinks.
License still available, I would assume.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Someday they're going to come knocking. I'm telling you, they're going to get so low on the totem pole.
One of the best gags that Birdie had was at one point his owners spilled all the bird seed all over the floor. and Birdie turned himself into a vacuum cleaner and vacuumed it up because he just ate it. He was like so happy to do it. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, it was. People love that one. It was highly regarded.
I would also say that you available for license is your "Don't Do Drugs" campaign that you started way back. Or no, yours was. Yeah, it was
Kumite drugs.
Kumite drugs, yeah. And
Kumite drugs.
Both of our.
Yeah, I mean, like if they want to relaunch the DARE program,
sure.
I got it for them. Kumite that shit.
Keep you away from that fan.
A lot of the Birdie comics. A lot of controversy in a few of them because
is this legit? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, my Birdie comics were a little controversial because maybe have been highly leveraged from maybe a Far Side or a Garfield just with a bird as the character instead.
Did you really draw this thing up? Is this something?
Yeah, I fucking drew this thing up. My mom had like these you ever know sketch notebooks, like those really big ones?
Yeah.
And I just like turned it into a Birdie comic book. My mom may still have this thing somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I would draw these little, like the vacuum cleaner one. That's an original.
Yeah.
That was straight from my cortex. A lot of them.
I never saw anything like that in Looney Tunes ever. Yeah.
No,
so
never.
Genius.
But a lot of them were heavily influenced by either the Far Side or by Garfield, to the point where I think my mommy was like, you can't just do the same joke with the thing. I was like, why? It's funny.
I love this. Oh, man.
She's calling me out for my plagiarism. I was like, what do you mean?
Best advice.
But he's a bird. And the other one's a cat.
Yeah.
So he's Birdie doing it.
Not even the same. Not even close.
Yeah, when Birdie does it, he's a bird. The Garfield does it, he's a cat. I have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just goes back to it. Boy, we're real dumb when we're kids. Just morons.
I came up with a really original name, though, Birdie. I feel like that.
It's very clever.
Yeah, because he was a bird.
Yeah.
So I did that thing. Yeah.
All right, pal.
You have better names. Daring Dax is a better name.
Thanks for bringing up Daring Dak. It was just Dak.
Dak. Oh, I call him Dax. Yeah. To me, it's Dax because that's my nickname for him.
Well, because there are people that are known as Dax. Like there's a Dax Shepherd. Does anyone know a Dak? Not that I'm aware of. Daring Dak. Jesus.
Who's the grappler?
The green grappler.
Green grappler.
Yeah.
Got it.
Did no grappling at all. It just needed something that was GG because I wanted to put two, like the logo on the chest was a GG. So I was like, and I was a fan of the Green Hornet and the Green Arrow, the Green Lantern. I was like, I want a green something. And then I just thought, I don't know why. Oh, I had.
Did he have like a big hand or something?
No.
I feel like
made no sense.
Did he wrestle?
He had like sort of like one of those sort of luchador.
Like a singlet?
No, like a luchador wrestling mask. No, his whole outfit was like made of a super strong steel that was bulletproof, and he had wrist machine guns.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it was pretty sick, but no grappling really. And the way that this fucking outfit was built, you couldn't grapple in it. Like not mobile at all.
Not a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. And also like, yeah, it's cool that this chest plate is like bulletproof with whatever wannabe adamantium steel nonsense I had going on. But like shoot the guy's legs or his head. It's done. It's game over.
Oh, he didn't have any.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
No. Yeah. He had no superpowers. He had no
he
power.
didn't have any. I imagined a full suit of armor, but he just had it over his chest.
You know how goddamn hard it was to draw the shit on his chest? You want me to do it on all the limbs? Fuck no. I ain't doing that. That's most of my drawings were that too. Like I was like, I'm going to make a really cool mask, and then the rest of it would just fall apart because I was like, I spent all the time on the mask or this armor plate, chest, torso thing, and then everything else just falls to shit. It was like, or it was just a blatant rip off of something else.
Like, what did the guy? What was his name in high school? Was it Tristan? Was that his name?
No. Oh, Asher Jacobson.
Asher. Yeah. What did he tell you? He's like, that sucks.
Yeah. No, he was like, he was almost. It was almost as if he was like the dude in that whatever that Adam Sandler movie where it's like. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I award you no points. God, may God have mercy on your soul. He basically said that to me. It was like, I was like, because that dude could draw. Like I've talked about it before. He was like, he drew like some crazy looking rat rod micro machine thing, like highly detailed. And I was like, yeah, here's my Lamborghini Countach. And he was just like, that is terrible. Like, and not in a, like, I'm not
like
gonna,
he was offended.
Yeah, just like
you hurt, like
absolutely,
somehow you like damaged him by showing him such a bad drawing.
Like, how dare you? And it was there and then that I realized, like, he's not wrong. Like, I just looked at my picture and his picture and went, son of a bitch, I just got to eat this one, you know, because it is dog shit. Like, and that's
you would not the birdie drawings. It was probably in third grade. So what are you in third grade? 8 or 9. Not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah,
mostly everybody was drawn in like a silhouette. So you just always got a side. You always got the side angle because that's how you draw a bird. You got to do the beak. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, and plus you're doing a comic strip, so you get
tiresome, man.
You get one panel in, and you're like, motherfuck, I got to do like 4
How many
more.
of these panels have to do?
Jesus, yeah. That's always like, that's why I have all of these. I have quote unquote comic books that I start that get like a page and a half, maybe if I'm lucky. And boy, you should see the spelling on some of these things. What, my God. Or, oh boy, I didn't draw that bubble big enough to fit this dialogue into.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
I think I only learned, like, in my 30s or 40s, that you should write the words first and then draw the bubble.
Yeah.
Just wanted to draw that goddamn bubble.
Me too. Yeah. And the thought one especially, the one that was like all like the
the little
dots that get bigger and then like the puffy cloud. Like, what a language that you learned. Like, I remember my dad explaining to me like comic books. He's like, this is his thoughts here. Oh, shit, you don't say. So this one is him speaking out loud. This is his thoughts. Oh, that's cool. Like, up to that point, I didn't know that there was a difference.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's that.
Well, that was a good little bonus.
That was, yeah, but no.
Look at that.
In all honesty, they're open. They're free. I mean, I'll fuck. I might take. We can negotiate. Might take a half rack of Rolling Rock or something. I'm it's not going to take much if you want to do a Green Grappler movie. It's not going to take a whole lot. So, all right, brother. Till next time.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
I had some food poisoning from the crabs.